Hello and welcome to Who It Could Have Been, where every week we take a look at a different actor or actress who's up for a famous role, but for one reason or another, they didn't quite get it. Would they have been better, worse, or just plain weird? Well, tonight we're going to take a look at a film that's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, FORREST GUMP, starring Tom Hanks and directed by Robert Zemeckis. Tom Hanks won the Academy Award for Best Actor that year for his portrayal. It's difficult for me to imagine anybody else playing the role of Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks so imbued that character that spouting any other name is anathema. But I'm going to do it anyway. This actor passed on Forrest Gump to star in another film that was nominated for Best Picture that year. That film happened to be Pulp Fiction. John Travolta.
Wow. I paused for a minute because I thought that was a joke. And so you know what happened when you said that, right? I totally saw Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, in a damn leisure shoot, walking the streets. Boom, boom, boom.
So you would have had a paint can instead of a box of chocolates, right?
I don't know much, but I do know what disco is. You know, God.
And that would give him a jump ahead in most of America. Anyway.
So, man, God, this, there is no spin on this. This would have been right terrible. The one thing I can't and this is to the man's credit, I have to say, the one thing I would struggle to come up with in describing him, Travolta, he does not portray ineptitude, right? As a matter of fact, it takes a character he's playing to be under the influence of an illicit substance. I'm assuming it's heroin because I don't know much about that. By way of Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction, for me to ever for a moment think that he might be a up. Even in Broken Arrow, yeah, right? This is up there with Dave Chappelle saying to James Lipton, and then I never pictured you going, and then you did a half-baked, right? I never pictured myself going, and then John Travolta did Broken Arrow, right? That. No. I never really felt like that he was a bad villain. He was just dealing with a bunch of morons that were on his team, kind of like John Lithgow and Cliffhanger. Boy, I'm dropping a bunch of shitty movies right now. But the punchline is, Forrest Gump in itself would have been completely meaningless. Listen, I have not even the power of Frank Underwood and his wife themselves could rescue the job that Travolta could do, and it's because he is too apt to show ineptitude. I don't know that apt is a word, but it is now.
Well, you mentioned that even when he was high on heroin in Pulp Fiction, he still seemed like he can get it together. And mind you, he stabbed a woman in the heart with a syringe while he was high on heroin, and he still managed to pull it off. I just
saved her life.
I don't want to insult John Travolta because I really enjoy when he works. He works tremendously well, whether it is in Get Shorty or hell, Grease, or for some reason I nearly said Wild Hogs and nothing, and that works. I was trying to think of something recent that I liked him in. Unfortunately, I really can't. But he's just too damn cool. I'd be too aware of the act. I think that's my biggest issue.
And you got to get in those box of chocolates. Oh my God, no, it's not going to work.
I have a hard time picturing many other actors doing it. Hell, I could even buy Harrison Ford being a better Forrest Gump based on his role in Regarding Henry than John Travolta. And I still wouldn't recommend that.
Still too damn cool.
He does have, despite the fact that he's a smartass in a lot of films, despite the fact that he's become a grumpy smartass in more recent films, he still was able to portray vulnerable very well, which made him much more engaging in his action films. Because once he got punched, you felt like he got punched.
No, very legit, especially in the Jones movies. But listen, you mentioned Regarding Henry, or you could even go Robert De Niro in Awakenings. There's a difference between being just slow medically and dumb, ignorant, learning disability out of it, right? And I think the only actor that comes to mind that could give this even a remote shot might be Randy Quaid. In which, ironically, I only get that from a movie where he was opposite Gary Sinise as well in a rendition of A Vice and Men.
You see,
How about all that from the default, huh?
Yeah, right. There are two elements about Forrest Gump that make the character stand out incredibly well. It's the fact that he's able to walk the tightrope between being very, very funny and still being dramatic. For a character with that disability, that is exceedingly difficult to pull off. And for a fact, probably the one scene that really clinches his character is his self-awareness, especially when he realizes he has a son and he asks if his son is like him. And
is he smart? Yes, he's the smartest kid in his class. Oh, no, that scene. Shoot, that scene's amazing. I'm not even going to touch on that. And of course, the unfortunate thing is we're talking about stuff with depth, and real emotion to it. And now that I mentioned Randy Quaid, the one thing I can't get out of my head, and it's my own fault. Mama, the shit is full. You know.
No. Well, we saw how he'd handle that in Christmas Vacation, where he starts dumping the contents into. Anyway,
yes, he would dump them onto the grounds of the Alabama.
Now, there's your crossover from hell of Mice and Men, Forrest Gump, and Christmas Vacation.
Now you know how they maintain all those shrimping boats.
Oh God. But I will say this, I think not only did Travolta make the best decision, vice versa, I couldn't imagine Tom Hanks pulling off Vincent Vega. They both chose well.